We are going to wait a couple more minutes to see if anyone else will be joining us tonight. Welcome to those of you that are joining us for the information session on the Day Camp Junior Counselor Program. Despite what it says under my picture, I am Dan Jones, the Program Director for Education and Camp, not Stacy Hooker. We will wait a minute or two more. This session is being recorded. Thank you to those of you that are taking a little bit of time out of your day to watch this session. We'll start in about a minute. It is a cold February day, so this is a good time to be inside in front of a computer. It's about 5:35 on my clock, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome again to all of you that are joining us for this information session on the Day Camp Junior Counselor Program. This session is being recorded and the information is accurate as of today, February 18th, 2025. This session is being recorded. If there are any changes to the program after this date of February 18th, 2025, it will be posted on the website, www.lhf.org. Click on Day Camp, Summer Day Camp, and Junior Counselors. That's also where this recording of the session will be put for future reference. For those of you that have questions, put those questions in the chat. We will address as many as possible at the end of the session. And this year, Living History Farms Day Camp, Summer Day Camp, is 50 years old. We're celebrating a birthday. It began in 1975 with 8 one-week sessions. Youth ages 8 to 10 were all in the same group, and 8 sessions were offered that summer, the year before the bicentennial. And it's appropriate that it's the 50th birthday before next year, when it is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Today, we're joined by my colleague, Lydia Best, and let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Dan Jones. I am the Program Director for Education and Day Camp. I started my career at Living History Farms as a summer day camp counselor intern in 1987, so I was not here at the beginning, but close. Over the years, I have done a variety of things, and I have been the Director of Education since 2010. So that's a little bit about me. My background is in history and education, with a master's degree and certification as a small museum professional. Lydia, would you like to introduce yourself now?
Yes, I'm Lydia Best. I'm originally from Minnesota, so didn't quite go to camp here as a kid, but this will be my third summer working with camp here at Living History Farms. I'm excited, looking forward to it. I graduated from Iowa State with a degree in animal ecology, so more sciencey side of things, but I'm having a lot of fun with Living History Farms. So.
Thank you, Lydia. The third person who could not come and join us tonight is Jessica Stolk. She is the Community Engagement Coordinator, and she is in her second season at Living History Farms. And the reason we mention her specifically is because she is the person who handles all of the volunteer paperwork and program administration. It's much more than just paperwork. She is the one that also goes out to recruit volunteers. So some of you students may have actually run into her at your local high school at your volunteer fairs. She is also the one who is the contact for your high school Silver Cord Award program. She could not be with us tonight, but she will be available throughout the year. So let's talk about, first of all, a thank you to the parents, adult caregivers, and to you teens that will be joining us this summer. We could not do this program for teens without the help of their adults. I love this picture. This is what camp is all about. It's about teamwork, and we are all on the same team. A successful camp experience depends on great teamwork. And the junior counselor, the teenage volunteers helping to create a meaningful experience for the campers while also building skills that they can use throughout their life. And they could not do this without the support of their parents, caregivers, family members, and so on. So a big shout out and thank you to all of you that are helping to support the teens. Now, Lydia, what will the junior counselors be doing? What is their responsibility?
Yep. So we have three big roles that the JCs or junior counselors are responsible for. And number one for everyone involved with working in camp is keep the campers and yourself safe. We want to provide a safe, positive, inclusive, and engaging experience for all campers and staff involved as well. So that's going to be the biggest role. Another we like to call aid and fade. So you'll assist a camper when they need some help. Maybe they're struggling a little bit with a craft or activity. They need a little bit of extra help to get them going. And then once they've started getting the hang of it, fade back into the background, back up, maybe help another camper who needs some help as well. And then assisting with setup and cleanup, both in the mornings and afternoons. So help the counselors that they're working with gather different materials, get ready for the day, help during the day, make sure the campers are cleaning up after themselves. We don't always have to clean up their messes. And then also at the end of day, any final cleanup, putting away craft materials and things that you didn't use during the day. So whenever your counselor says they're good is when the JC's day would end. So various things that you may be helping with is going out on those creek walks that everyone loves, making sure all the campers are still having their model behavior going, or good behavior during those creek walks. Um, Helping monitor the kids on visits to different historic sites that camp will go on throughout the week, helping with crafts, as I said, leading different games or songs. Maybe some kids have finished up with a craft, but some others aren't done. Take the kids who are done and do some kind of craft, some kind of game to keep them entertained. And then end of day washing dishes, sweeping floors, any of that cleaning stuff that needs to happen. And then biggest thing is junior counselors are a huge role model for campers. These junior counselors are a lot closer in age to campers than some of the counselors are, and the campers naturally look up to them.
And in many cases, thank you, Lydia. In many cases, we get feedback from parents of campers who say, my camper really loved camp because of their junior counselor, or as we abbreviate it, JC. And they will mention those JCs by name. Like Lydia was really a great JC. My camper really had so much fun having Lydia help her. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of what a junior counselor gets when they are here. Junior counselors are so critical to making the camp experience memorable, enjoyable, fun, and educational during the week for the campers. At the end of the week, you, the junior counselor, will know that you have made an impact on those campers. As I just said, the campers remember names, and they will tell us how much they liked or didn't like their junior counselor. Throughout the week, junior counselors, JCs, have the opportunity to develop, practice, and gain leadership experience and self-confidence in their abilities. There are a host of skills, both life skills and work skills, that you will be practicing and developing and implementing throughout the week. Problem solving skills, adapting to changes in the schedule or changes in the weather, creativity, so many more. As I mentioned a minute or two ago, the hours that you volunteer here as a junior counselor may be applied to your high school's Silver Cord Award program. However, be sure that you check your high school's program for requirements and details, and make sure that we are aware of any requirements so that we can ensure that you meet those. You will also, as a junior counselor, receive an invitation to our annual staff and volunteer appreciation event. The date for 2025 is yet to be determined. And all junior counselors and all volunteers receive invitations to attend and participate in special volunteer enrichment experiences. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about what junior counselors do and what's expected of them. The hours start between 8:30 and 8:40. That is the arrival time for junior counselors. This year in 2025, day camp is still running out of the Murray Conference Center, which is located on Douglas Avenue. The address is 12234 Douglas Parkway, Urbandale, Iowa. It is not the front door to Living History Farms on Hickman Road. So it is the back door, or Gate 4 as we reference it often. Between 8:30 and 8:40, junior counselors arrive, and they will help set up, as Lydia explained. Camp itself will run 9 to 4 with a lunch break in there. And then from 4 to 4:10 or 4:15, that's when the junior counselor helps with the cleanup and putting things away. More details will be provided during orientation and training. And a quick reminder, many of our junior counselors have been campers themselves, but this is a chance for them to take that next step. Junior counselors are helpers, they are not campers. So let's talk about the application and acceptance and training policies and procedures. How does that all work? Well, first and foremost, there is an application to be completed. That application is online at www.lhf.org, and click on volunteer, and there will be a link that will lead you to the application. In that application, you must provide an email that will be checked all summer long. This email is the main way that we will communicate with you. There must be an email for both the adult and the youth that are volunteering. If anything changes, please let us know as soon as possible. Email daycamp@lhf.org. And daycamp@lhf.org goes right to Lydia. Required paperwork that must be submitted prior to volunteering includes the application, which must be signed by a parent or adult guardian. After being accepted into the program, there is a volunteer handbook acknowledgement form that must also be signed by both the junior counselor and their parent or adult guardian. All junior counselors are required to attend an in-person interview. At that in-person interview, by the way, it's a group interview, so there will be a group interviewing at the same time, and it's very interactive and very fun, not meant to be scary or intimidating. After the interview, we select people to participate in the program for the summer. You must attend a training and orientation session before you can volunteer. After you are accepted to volunteer, you will receive a link where you can sign up for that training and orientation session. Returning junior counselors must also attend a training and orientation session. Also, you will receive a link where you may sign up for the weeks that you would like to volunteer. These will all be sent to you by email, which is again why it's so very important that we have an email that is accurate and checked on a regular basis. And again, if you have any questions about these, please put those in the comments section, which Lydia is monitoring, or you may email daycamp@lhf.org. We're going to get a little specific about policies and procedures. We're going to provide a very thumbnail look at policies and procedures. All policies and procedures will be further outlined in the volunteer handbook, which will be supplemented by the junior counselor program handbook, which junior counselors will receive when they attend the orientation and training session. I will cover the major specific museum-wide policies about volunteering, and then Lydia will talk specifically about junior counselor policies and procedures. So, Living History Farms is a museum which connects all people to the many stories of Midwestern agriculture and rural life. That's our mission statement. And you may read about the mission, vision, values, and goals of the museum on the website at the link provided here. Everything we do connects to our mission and our vision. We also have a code of conduct for all staff, all volunteers, and all guests. You may read about this code of conduct at the link that is provided here. The code of conduct applies equally to myself, Lydia, all of the camp staff, all of the campers, all of the junior counselors, and all of the family members that come along with those campers. When people are on the grounds, we expect them to adhere to the code of conduct. One phrase that you will hear quite a bit is camp appropriate. Our camp staff are trained to be respectful, responsible, trustworthy, and so on. They will be modeling what camp appropriate behavior should be. We expect junior counselors to also model that behavior and help the campers to have camp appropriate behavior. Respect underlies everything we do. We wish to treat everyone with fairness, kindness, dignity, because we are all worthy of those. If we are not living up to that camp appropriate expectation or that code of conduct, we want you to say something. If you see something that is not respectful, etc., please say something to us. And we will take care of that. We will address that. Also, we want to know if something's going really well, too. So please also share those positive comments. Regarding emergency procedures, we do not expect volunteers to lead emergency procedures. Those are the responsibilities of the museum staff and the camp staff. We evaluate all of our programs. As I mentioned, parents and adult guardians of campers have an opportunity to share feedback about their experience, and they will share all the good stuff and all the bad stuff as well. That's the only way we can make sure that we are doing the best job possible. So We will also be asking junior counselors to evaluate their experience during camp. That evaluation will come to you via email. Again, it's important that we have a valid email for you on file. Living History Farms is a drug-free workplace, uh, and we do expect everyone to come clear-headed. If you must take any medication while you are here, please let us know for your safety, especially if, for example, you have an allergy to bee stings, for example, and you must carry an EpiPen. We would like to know that. We also expect all volunteers to clock in and out of our volunteer time record keeping system called Volgistics. This way we can accurately record your hours because, of course, for Silver Cord Award, you must put in a minimum number of hours. And this allows us to track that time that you are here. If you miss a clock in or clock out, it's not the worst thing in the world. Just let us know and we can take care of that. Those are general museum-wide policies. Lydia, would you dive in and talk about some specific things
Yeah,
regarding
so for
your counselors?
For junior counselors specifically, like Dan said, it's typically Monday through Friday, 8:30 to about 4:15. This year, we will not be doing camp on July 4th. That's a holiday. Go enjoy it with your families if you are working that week. If you are sick, you're running late, you're leaving early, things happen, just let us know. Uh, the junior counselor handbook has numbers and emails that you can use to get a hold of myself or Dan. Please let us know. Um, and the sooner the better, just so that we know if you're not going to be there or if you're running late and we just need to then hook you up with your camp once you do show up. As far as dress code, you're going to be outside. So dress for the weather, whatever weather is going to be going for that week, and make sure it is appropriate and modest. We don't want any profanity on t-shirts or anything like that. Big thing is closed-toed shoes. Even in the creek, there's sticks and rocks that can scratch your feet. The campers are expected to wear closed-toed shoes that completely cover their feet. And as we've said, JC's are a role model. So please model dress expectations as well as behavior expectations. And then parking, if junior counselors are driving themselves, there is a staff parking area. You will see the counselors' cars already parked. Um, so just park over by there. If you are being dropped off, you can unload at the conference center. Just drive right on up to that conference center and get dropped off right there. Big things to bring: backpack, lunch, snacks, water bottle, sunscreen, bug spray. Make sure those you bring those snacks. This is a long day. You need that extra fuel. A good hearty lunch to keep you going, water bottle so that you are consistently drinking water. And then that sunscreen and bug spray, especially on a creek day. It can be a little buggy over by the creek.
And Lydia, if
Cell
I
phone.
may,
Mhm.
sometimes your creek walk day as a junior counselor is on Monday.
Yes,
And how will
quite
they
so.
know?
So you should be getting an email from your counselor, I believe the Friday before, if we're still doing as we did last year, introducing themselves, saying, "Hey, I'll be the counselor you're working with. This is the day our creek walk is on." Now, that being said, every now and then something happens and plans change. So it never hurts, especially if you're driving yourself, just stash your creek walk stuff in the car and bring it with. If you're getting dropped off, you can still bring that with and on Monday just in case. And you can leave it at the conference center as well. That's totally fine. But you should be getting an email from your counselor and they'll let you know when that creek walk day is so that you can come prepared. So then cell phones, everyone's got them, but if you use them, it can be very distracting for campers. And also taking photos, videos, audio of the campers is strictly prohibited. So please just keep your cell phones put away. You shouldn't really ever need to use them. First aid, the camp counselors are going to be trained in first aid. They're the ones that are in charge of doing first aid. If you are, as a volunteer, you should not be giving any first aid. If you get injured, let us know. We do need to document, even if it's just a paper cut. Let us know. We'll get you a Band-Aid, um, and we'll get that recorded just for our purposes, our internal purposes. Using vehicles and equipment, you shouldn't be using anything more complicated than a stapler or a hot glue gun as a volunteer. So you shouldn't need to be operating, you won't be operating any machinery or vehicles aside from the glue guns, scissors, hole punch that you'll typically be using for crafts. And then Silver Cord Award hours, you can email forms to education@lhf.org, and we can also sign a hard copy of those forms on your last day of volunteering as well.
Thank you, Lydia. We will go over more of the policies and procedures during training and orientation. And that is why it is imperative that a junior counselor must attend a training session before they can volunteer. Failure to attend a training session means that they will not be able to volunteer as a junior counselor. So let's talk about tips for success. I love this picture of one of our campers. She is incredibly happy and proud of what she's done there. That looks like one of our snowflake activities, if I'm not mistaken. So again, this is why we're here, to make memories for the campers, to help them have the best possible time that they can. That means we must bring ourselves to camp, our best self to camp every day, mentally and physically. Especially get a good night's sleep the night before. If you are tired, it's going to be a very, very long, long day. Also, be hydrated. On hot days, it will be very important that you can drink and drink water. Be present for the campers. They are why you are here. As Lydia just mentioned, if you are on your cell phone, you're not present. You need to be here because you are a role model and must be polite, kind, and fair. Children, especially young children, will follow our lead. If we're excited about something, the group's going to be excited about something. So we need to be willing to initiate games and songs. I already mentioned getting a good night's sleep. Punctuality is key. Arrive on time and stay until the day is done. That way, we know everyone is here. We're not looking for, is Dan going to be coming or not? If you're absent or late, call or email us, as Lydia said. And again, bring a water bottle, snacks, and lunch every day. Staying hydrated is important. You are junior counselors, not campers or the lead counselor. This is that awkward time between the two. This is a time for you to, as the junior counselor, to develop more leadership skills and self-confidence in your abilities. We are here for the campers. We're here not to do the crafts for them, but to help them. As junior counselors, you will get dirty and messy. This is just a part of camp. And so, as Lydia mentioned, it might not hurt to have a towel in your car for those days when you've done the creek walk, because all junior counselors are expected to be willing to go into the creek and get a little wet. It is very important that we also have boundaries between ourselves and the campers. We do not discuss our personal matters during camp. We want to socialize appropriately with the campers. We don't want to be standoffish or excluding them. We are here for the campers. And as Lydia mentioned, sometimes things change. We have to be flexible and adapt, and you and your ability to deal with changes will show the campers that they can adapt as well. These are actually from suggestions of former junior counselors and former staff people. So take their wisdom to heart and know that you will be making memorable experiences for the campers. Now, I believe it is time for those questions. We will address as many questions as we can from the chat. If you have other questions, please reach out to us. Contact us at daycamp@lhf.org. So Lydia, I believe you've been monitoring the chat. Do we have any questions?
I do not see any at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, we have thrown a lot of information at you in about 25 minutes. So I know you need time to digest all of this. Again, if questions come up after we are done here tonight, you may contact us at daycamp@lhf.org. By my clock, it is just a little after 6 o'clock. So I appreciate you and thank you for taking the time to be with us for this half-hour discussion of what a junior counselor does at Living History Farms. From the very beginning, we have used volunteers to assist with camp and with Living History Farms. We could not do what we do the way we do it without the help of volunteers. So, thank you so very much for everything you've done. And on behalf of Lydia and all the other camp staff and Jessica, we hope you have a wonderful time working at day camp this summer. Thank you, everyone.